that. Hey, guys. My name is Valerie Haney, and I was in the Sea organization for 22 years.
I knew Valerie when she worked for the leader's wife, Shelley Miscavige. When I heard that she was out, and I heard that she was already going to the authorities, I had like crazy mad respect for her. So I got a hold of her and I offered her a job because I wanted to help her. And I wanted them to know, you're just not gonna with her. Sorry. So why are you speaking out?
Because I feel that people need to know the truth, and I cannot keep living a life where I'm scared at every second on, well, if I say this, will something happen to me?
Right.
Will they be knocking on my door? And that's another thing that will probably happen is Scientology executives and security will probably find out where I am and try to park outside. I could be followed for months
All of
and
those
months.
things might happen.
Okay, that was totally weird. I just got handed this envelope from a guy that said his name was Michael that said, "You've been served." I just got out of my car, right over there. Everything is locked. You have to have a key to get into any of this area, and he just threw this envelope at me. This big guy served me a document that told me to cease any form of communication that would be against Scientology. It was scary. They also started waiting right outside my apartment complex, and right when I pulled out, they started following me. Oh my God, I've just been being followed. Ugh. They were outside my apartment this morning, waiting for me to leave, and I've just spent the last half an hour trying to lose him. Okay, day 2, being followed by a different vehicle, and I've tried to ditch them 3 times.
To further intimidate her, her house has been broken into.
Oh, are you the one who broke into the gate?
Yes, you remember me.
So they, you know how they troll our Instagram, so they saw Valerie at Disneyland, right, with my daughter. And so they've been calling Valerie's brother. They've been calling him every day. They want to get him on a plane to LA to talk to Valerie now. This is a letter from Valerie's brother, Jeffrey Haney. And he's saying that Valerie doing this show and speaking out is destroying his family.
Scientology basically took my brother, who is still a Scientologist, and manipulated him and fueled him with all of the bad things that I'm doing, which is telling the truth, to then go against me and to call me names and say that I'm doing the work of the devil, and that he basically is no longer connected with me. He had to disconnect from me. So because of Scientology, I don't have a brother anymore. Anyway.
I think that their hope is she would go, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to do the show. That's what they're trying to accomplish. They're trying to accomplish getting her to
Guess
back out.
What? Once again, Scientology, you got the wrong girl.
It's interesting that the more harassment that they do now actually empowers me to do more and to speak out more and to document what they are doing and let other people know that this is not right, that this is not okay.
Valerie Haney is the face of a growing legal fightback, suing the church for human trafficking, kidnapping, harassment, stalking, and the violation of child labour laws. In Scientology, you have taken on a mighty opponent. Do you feel like you're still standing?
Yeah, it's been a bit rough at times, for sure. They've tried to make it as rough as possible, but I'm not going to let that stop me.
Inconceivably, Valerie's first legal hurdle has been to try to overturn the contracts she was made to sign while in Scientology. Amongst the many over her 37 years in the church, she signed her first when she was just 8 years old. It was a billion-year pledge.
All of the laws and the documentation and everything that they're making me sign aren't binding in the real world, because I was a child when I joined this cult.
But the real world is judging otherwise, with courts claiming they can do no else. Religious freedom means the contracts, no matter how long or onerous, cannot be questioned by the law. Can you explain to me how these contracts can actually be considered legitimate in a court of law?
That's a great question. What's happening is that the courts are saying under our First Amendment that they can't read into or in any way assert the rule of law into what this quote-unquote religion believes, which we're not asking them to do. We're not asking them to do that.
Guy DeAndrea is Valerie's attorney. He is asking the courts to judge what Scientology does, not what it thinks.
You can believe in human sacrifice. If that's what you believe, you can believe that. You can't commit that act, right? You can't do that. And that's all we're saying here. But the courts, for whatever reason, in Val's case, are refusing to see that or refusing to look at it, at least at this stage.
In other cases, judges have said their hands are tied. Do you agree with that?
No, their hands are not tied. You don't have to look at the belief system.
But to resolve the case, the court has ordered Valerie to return to the lion's den, to enter Scientology's internal arbitration process, allowing the church to be its own judge and jury. How let down do you feel by the legal system?
I was definitely shocked when I was told to go back into their grips. I was shocked when I was told that I had to do that.
You are making this woman go inside of the place that she was abused, trafficked, kidnapped, inside, back into the belly of the beast.
Valerie will subject herself to arbitration if it means she might eventually get to a proper court. But whistleblower Claire Headley says judges are being hoodwinked. Scientology's arbitration has nothing to do with their religious beliefs. Rather, it's a contrived legal strategy.
There is no such thing as arbitration. It is not Hubbard policy. It is not Scientology policy. It is simply an effort by Scientology to cover up more crimes.
If we can just get into the litigation, right? If we can start taking depositions, right? Interviewing their people on the record, getting the documents, getting the videos, we will truly expose to the world, which Scientology does not want, what's really happening inside of those armed doors. And I mean armed.
In the meantime, Valerie Haney's advice is simple: steer clear. What warning would you give others about Scientology?
I would say don't even think about it. And I would say run for the hills. Do not get involved at all whatsoever.
You must feel like you're sort of betraying yourself sometimes to talk out about it.
Well, yeah, it's going against everything I was ever taught. I'm like dripping with sweat right now. Like but I know that it's right, and I know that it's the truth. So I have to, help others, and I have to make sure that it's not going to harm other people.